Madison first grade. Welcome again to my favorite reading nook. Okay guys, so again, today we're going to talk more about the earth and this particular book. But we're just going to use this as an example for something that you can do when you are reading. Okay, I'm going to get right to it and talk about what our reading objective is today. So, it says, when I read, I can figure out the main idea and some details. So we're going to talk about the difference between the main idea and then the tiny little details. Okay, for example, here, this is something I think can help me figure out what the whole is versus the teeny tiny details. I'm going to show you what I mean. You can actually figure out what the whole is on a single page, like what the entire page is about, or you can even look at the pages to figure out what the entire book is about. And just a little trick, not always true, but oftentimes a title that is given in the book can be a hint about what the book is related to. So it's a nice hint to get. All right. I was reading, let me get to the page, bear with me. It's the page with the really cool timeline. By the way, as you know, I have some cats and my assistants are not being particularly helpful right now. They are running around and chasing each other. So if you hear a little extra noise, I apologize. Okay, here's the page I was talking about. So I notice on this page, here's Earth, and it says, as I got older, stuff began to grow. Life. And so he talks about all of the different things that happen. So I'm going to talk about some of the details that he says. He says, almost half my life, you probably wouldn't even recognize me, though I've always been around. So, look, remember how it talked about how it was really wet? Yeah. And then it says 2.4 billion years ago. Air. If anyone had been alive, they could finally take a breath. Very important fact. It's also a little tiny detail. I'm going to skip forward and look at this detail because I think bears are adorable. So let's look. It says 210 million years ago. Yay for mammals! They're fuzzy and warm. And I notice this line goes all the way up here. Oh, isn't that cool? Here's a cool detail. I noticed that this connects here, and this shows like half of the life. Here's where air came. I noticed that here's a detail, and it comes closer to where we are now, which is kind of cool. So it has the facts. But those are just little bitty details. Now, when I look at the whole page and I think about the details, I think to myself, what is the whole page about? And I think the whole page is telling about what has happened over the course of Earth's life. So it's telling important information about Earth's timeline, like different things that happened. So you can use the tiny details to help you figure out what the whole is. But if somebody asks you for a detail, you won't say, oh, a timeline for the Earth. Do you see the difference there? Well, it's kind of tricky. The other thing is, you can look across all of the pages, back and forth, and think, oh, some details. Oh, this is when Earth was a baby. This is talking about when the Earth was wet. It's kind of like the retell that we talked about last week. But you're thinking to yourself, oh, this is talking about continents about the Earth. This is the timeline we were just talking about. Here is a page that talks about dinosaurs, a very important part of the Earth. Asteroids, different eras, like Ice Age. Let's see, ooh, the different layers of the Earth. So I'm looking at all these details and I'm thinking, I think the whole book is basically all about the Earth. but it's told from the perspective of the earth, like the earth is the one talking. So it's kind of some fiction in there, but it's actually a teaching book and telling information, but in an interesting way. Very cool. As writers, if you guys wanted to do that, that would be a very cool craft move, by the way. Anyway, today when you are reading, you can figure out what the whole is. Now, if you want to post that on Seesaw, you're welcome to do that. But the whole tells about, you can either talk about the little details, you can give an example of a detail from each page and then talk about what the whole page is, or you can give an example of a detail from the book and then tell what the main idea of the entire book is. All right, guys, I think you're up for the challenge. Because we know our Madison Comets soar. Have an amazing day, guys. I'll see you later.